Mr. Chairman, if we are fortunate enough to capture a terrorist who wants to kill innocent people, whether those people are innocent Americans, innocent British, innocent French, or innocent Chinese, or some other nationality, if we're fortunate to capture them before they kill those innocent people, we have two choices. The first choice we have is we can release them. The second choice we have is we can detain them. If we release them, and we are wrong, we are empowering them to succeed in their initial intent, and if they're successful, to kill innocent people. If we detain them, it comes at a price. Their supporters will seek to turn public opinion against us and try to force their release. At the same time, the place they are detained becomes a target for other terrorists who want to force their release. Attorney General Holder, when he appeared before the Judiciary Committee, I asked him a simple question. I said, Mr. Attorney General, you receive a lot of information. Some of that information is hearsay. Some of that information is classified. Some of that information is not admissible in court. If in the totality of that information that you receive, you conclude that one of these terrorist suspects, one of these detainees, have a probability of harming a U.S. citizen, will you detain that individual even if you don't have enough evidence that's admissible in court to charge them and convict them? And he said, we will detain them. Now, if that's the question, then the only question then becomes, where will we hold them? A political decision was made by this administration to close Guantanamo Bay before investigating or developing a plan as to what to do with the detainees there. In fact, when the Attorney General went down there, Mr. Holder concluded that the prison was well run, none of their rights were being violated of the detainees, none of the Geneva Convention was not being complied with. But that's water under the dam. Now we know that other countries are refusing to take these detainees unless we pay them upwards of $12 million per detainee. And we also know that the FBI director has stated very clearly that it's dangerous to mix them in the United States because of the possibility of mixing terrorists with gang activities that could be a recipe for enormous catastrophic situations here in our country. The director of the Bureau of Prisons has said that we don't have the capacity to hold them in federal prison system. We know it's enormously expensive for states and localities because of heightened security to have the detainees here. But perhaps worst of all these things, if we bring them in one of our localities, we are putting a target on the back of every school, shopping mall, transportation center, and business in that community in which they are located by other terrorists who want to do something to secure their release. It makes also Attorney General Holder's attempt to hold them more difficult because the moment they hit U.S. soil, they will receive additional rights that will make it more difficult to hold them. So, Mr. Chairman, my amendment, the first one, would merely say that you can't bring them here. The second amendment that I'm going to offer is going to say that you can't bring them here without a plan, and that plan has to be agreed to by the states where they'll be located. Mr. Chairman, however we get there by whatever parliamentary devices, we're going to come down with two separate visions on this committee tonight. One of them is going to say that you believe it's okay to have a plan, and that plan can be forced on states and localities to house these detainees. We believe that there is no plan that you can create that is justifiable in forcing it on the states without their permission. And just moments ago, we passed an amendment that prohibited the United States Navy from locating a training field in a locality, even if that locality approved it, because the state said it didn't want it. Now our question is going to be whether or not we are going to allow us to force detainees, potential terrorists, in a state if that state and that state legislature does not want it. And so, Mr. Chairman, with that, I yield back, and I hope that it will be the pleasure of this committee to adopt this amendment.
Thank the